Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. Inspired by a picture on a postage stamp, I will share with you my strategy for drafting this particular G-Bend quilt. I have set up a new project and labeled it G-Bend Postage Stamp. On the home screen, select Import and Edit Fabric Images and select Import Image. Navigate to wherever you saved the image of the postage stamp from my blog. I put mine under my EQ8 images, and so I'm going to select it and select Open, followed by OK. Now you're going to note that this is a whole bunch of quilts, and we're only going to do one during this blog post. But I may want to come back and do the others, so I will select Add to Sketchbook to save the photo. Then select Crop. Click on the image to engage the crop window, and then drag the edges of the crop to roughly enclose the quilt that we would like to trace. Then select Apply Crop, and the image is really small, so let me do a scale fabric. I'm just going to type in 10, select Apply just to make it bigger, and now I want to do a second crop. And this time I'm going to click on the image and I'm going to adjust the crop window to match the outside of the quilt. Then select Apply Crop, select Scale Fabric, and let's make the image 20 inches, so type in 20 and select Apply. Select Add to Project Sketchbook, and then select Resize Image and note the width and height. Select OK, and then select the blockwork table. Do a new block pieced Easy Draw block, and change the block width to 20 and the block height to 23.5. Change your snaps to 4x4, that's the smallest number allowed. For snapping options, we are only going to turn on Snap to Lines and Arcs. View the project sketchbook and select the Photos tab and select the G-Bend Postage Stamp Quilt and select Edit to Blockwork Table. Drag the slider bar to lighten the image for tracing and go back to Drawing Tools. Now the borders look like they were done in a log cabin style, so we're going to draft those similar to how I like to do foundation patterns, in that we're going to start from the outside and we're going to work our way in. With the line tool, draw the left border, making sure to connect the top and bottom edges of the quilt. If a line is going to connect to an interior line, I actually like to start a little bit before that interior line and overlap it as we connect the other side to the right edge of the block. Repeat the process for the line on the right. For the line on the bottom, I would like to connect to that node from the first line. So I'm actually going to finish before touching that line and turn on Snap to Node, and then use the Edit tool and connect to the proper spot. Then I'll turn off Snap to Node. Select Color and go back to Draw to finalize those segments. Select the Line tool and now work on the next border. For the first line, you're going to find that it's going to more naturally want to snap to the outside edge of the block. And since I want to actually snap to that interior line, I'm going to zoom in and with the Edit tool, move that ending node to the appropriate spot on the earlier line. Then with the Line tool, because all of the lines we're connecting are now interior lines, I will draw extended lines for each of the next pieces. Repeat the process for the black inner border. The beauty of the extended lines is you can use Edit and you can adjust the placement of the lines without having extra nodes created. Select Color and go back to Draw to finalize those segments. Now with the Line tool, if we look at the center, we can see that we have one block on the right and 3 blocks on the left. So draw extended lines to create those 4 sub-blocks. Select Color and add to Project Sketchbook. Select Draw, and with the line tool, draw the extended lines for the block on the right. Select Color and go back to Draw, and with the line tool, draw the lines for the top and bottom blocks on the left. Select Color, go back to Draw, and draw the lines for the center block on the left. Select the Color tab, and I'll do a Fit to Work table, and using the spray can, color the entire block white. And add to Project Sketchbook. I decided to color the block in the quilt work table so I could put a picture right next to the actual block. So on the quilt work table, select New Quilt Horizontal. On the Layout tab, change the number of blocks to 1 by 1. Change the width and height to match the size of the block, which is 20 by 23.5. And then, if you want bindings, select the Border tab and select the style Mitered and change the size to 0.5. Select Design, and under Block Tools, Set Block, select the block we just drew and click on the space in the quilt. Then select Layer 2 and select Photo Tools. Do a set photo and drag the postage stamp photo to the right of the quilt. Select it with the Adjust tool. Make sure Preserve Aspect Ratio is turned on, and you can either drag a corner to resize, but the idea is you want to position it immediately to the right of the quilt. Select Layer 1 and select Fabric Tools. And I'm going to zoom in on the quilt and photo, and then use the fabric tools and the photo to recolor the quilt. As you color the quilt, make note of any corrections that need to be made to the basic drawing. I found 2 different problems in my drawing of the block. Select Add to Sketchbook to save the coloration of the block. And then view the project sketchbook, and on the Blocks tab, select the block that's now colored and select Edit. Using the Easy Draw tools, make any necessary corrections to the block. In my case, it was deleting an extra line segment and drawing a missing line segment. Select the Color tab and make any necessary adjustments to coloration, and add to Project Sketchbook. Select the quilt work table, and under Block Tools, select Block, select the adjusted block, and click on the block space on Layer 1. Select the Hide Show Quilt Patch Lines, and add to Project Sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy creating your own G-Bend-like quilt. And for additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my newsletter at onpointquilter.com.